Are you struggling to stretch yourself and at the same time uncertain if one-on-one assisted stretch will work for you? In this video, you will learn the difference between self-stretch and one-on-one assisted stretch and how you can make use of these tools as a cutting-edge weapon to help you in health and athletic performance. Surprised that after a professional stretch work on your whole body, that there are still people who believe that if you can stretch on their own, they can get exactly the same result from a self-stretching approach.
How can I do the same stretch that you did on me on my own?
They usually ask. I hear this often enough, so I decided to make this video. It occurred to me that most people basically thought that paying for having a professional assisted stretch session are only for those who are, number one, lazy to stretch on their own, number two, does not know how to stretch, and doesn't have time to study about stretch. I think I can compare this to having your haircut done by somebody. During this COVID lockdown and quarantine, who cut your hair? Did you like the way they cut your hair? Or you are left belligerently and you want to kill them? Don't worry, my friend. It'll grow back soon. Is it positively well done and probably pay for it if it's only not your close relatives who did it? I understand that we are all in this together and we just don't have too much choices. My intention for this analogy is for you to deeply capture the meaning that I'm about to explain later. So stick around till the end and discover how a proper and professional assisted stretch different from self-stretch. And if you are serious enough to add an edge to your goal, then this shared updates is for you, a promising game changer. So let's get back to the story. If hiring a stretch therapist to stretch your body is like hiring a hair cutter to cut your hair because you are just too lazy, then I could save more time and money if I just self-stretch. I just need to learn and practice, and I will get a hang of it, and eventually I will do fine. Let us analyze that. Just to let you know, I cut my own hair for decades. I am pretty much satisfied and at ease cutting my own hair. I find it hard to look for somebody I can trust and will really satisfy me. Quite picky, you might say, and I really save more time and money if I cut my own hair at home. Do I think that I need somebody to stretch me? I know what you're thinking. You're probably saying,
Of course you are going to say yes, since you are a stretch practitioner and you are promoting assisted stretching.
You are absolutely right. My answer is yes. I need somebody to stretch me. But apparently not because I am too lazy to do my own stretch, and definitely not because I am doing my marketing pitch. My suggestion for you as a recovery coach is actually to do both self-stretch and assisted stretch, because what you get from assisted stretch will be different from self-stretch, and what you get from self-stretch will be vice versa. And to optimize further, the amount of time and stretch that you need to spend in a session will depend on your unique and specific flexibility level. Okay, I'm starting to talk intellectual again here. This is for your own good, believe me. This is something that will make sense and will mindfully stretch your clarity in order for your goal to be implemented and move forward for productivity's sake. I hope you are all ears till the end. Now, let's get down to the major topic. Let's talk about muscle resistance. Resistance is a property of a muscle for your protection. Ever had somebody grab your arms and you react by resisting and freezing your arms, preventing it to move away? Is that physical reaction intentional or unintentional? It is usually not intentional, or it is actually a subconscious or beyond your control. You call that sudden subconscious muscular contraction as reflex. Another case in point. Ever took a bus standing but you are so tired and sleepy? In the middle of your trip, you felt a short moment of falling down and catching yourself from a sudden loss of grip from the bus handrail? Did you know that your muscle reflex just save you from hurting yourself at that spur of the moment? Reflex is a form of reactive resistance that is innately vital for you to survive and be safe. Reflex is quite efficient, but most of the time is very reactive.
Like emotions.
The amount to trigger reflex depends on the current amount of your conscious range of motion or amount of flexibility. If you are stiff and tight, triggering any muscle resistance or reflex to protect your body is pretty much easy and small. In addition, the more stiff and tight you are, the stronger the intensity of subconscious resistance you will be encountering. Imagine that you are stretching your hamstring. Our goal is to reach 90 degrees. Before you reach closer to 90 degrees, discomfort will set in, especially behind your knee where your hamstring is attached. You will encounter stretch irritation close to the point of pain the more you stretch it further. Before this sign and symptoms happen, that subconscious reflex is already started and taking over. If you can only reach 45 degrees, reflex comes earlier than that. So before discomfort or stretch pain happens, the applied stretch tension of your soft tissue is already a form of trigger to your nervous system reflex to slow down or to interrupt that ongoing unfamiliar lengthening that you are applying. And this stretch tension is obviously easy to produce if you are already inflexible. Another thing is our body works and reacts as a whole, especially when we talk about subconscious level. If you are not only stiff and tight but also tense and stressed, which is an opposite of relax, this will also adds up to the intensity, speed of activating your reflex sensitivity, meaning your reflex will be extremely reactive, which reminds you that proactive is better than being reactive. But in reflex, being reactive is advantageous, but exceedingly reactive might not help you when it comes to stretching. It is an heightened or enhanced muscle resistance, or simply the capacity or behavior of your body to resist stretching from happening. Common signs that you probably have experienced when stretching are mild shaking of the stretching part and the uncontrollable tensing of your neck muscles. These are signs that tells you that you are crossing the borderline between protective reflex mechanism and your controllable relaxed state. If we are on the right page here, it is crystal clear that to optimize a soft tissue stretch, you need to reduce muscle resistance or reflex from overreacting, or lessen the muscle from pulling to the opposite direction as you stretch, resulting to a tug-of-war-like fashion, perpetuating the amount of length of the soft tissue that is being stretched. That does not make any sense. In order to reduce the muscle resistance from being too reactive, setting your physical system to its best favorable environment for optimal stretch will increase relaxation. And this is what makes assisted stretch different from self-stretch. In basic self-stretch, you have no way of eliminating additional and unnecessary muscle contraction. And muscle contraction highly contributes to the sensitivity of your reflex protective mechanism. Since you are doing self-stretch, most cases you will be standing or sitting position. This position works the postural muscle, which affects the sensitivity of your reflex. Other self-stretch needs your arms to participate and serve as an assist to the parts of your body to be stretched. Again, your assisting moving arms, muscular contraction during a self-stretch is an obvious reason for you not being able to reach your optimal self-stretch objective. When somebody else is stretching you, less muscle will be participating, obviously. Thus, less activity of your own reflex. Most assisted one-on-one stretch session is done on a massage table. Your position is horizontal. You are more relaxed and postural muscles are relaxed as well, creating an environment conducive for your body's muscular system to disengage from the pull of gravity. By decreasing the amount of muscle participating during the stretch and just focusing to activate those muscles that is needed in case of active stretch session, the amount of muscle resistance from the stretch will be reduced. Therefore, you are more in control and relaxed. Self-stretching will serve as a complementary remedy in case of regular assisted stretching is not possible for the client. Self-stretching is very convenient and effective for those who are naturally born flexible. Self-stretching will be difficult for those who are naturally inflexible and to those group of people who develop their inflexibility due to their extreme decrease of activity lifestyle. A combination of both self-stretch and assisted stretching is recommended. Faster result will happen with consistent and regular assisted stretch for people who believe they are slightly to moderately flexible before. Faster result will also happen with consistent and regular self-stretching for people who believe they are very flexible when they were younger. To sum it all up, if you're way below average in flexibility, then assisted stretching will help you faster. If you are currently above average in flexibility, then self-stretch will help you, but with additional assisted stretching, it will be faster. To cut your own hair for the first time is challenging, but definitely it is possible, especially for men than women. You will really save time and money. Self-cutting your hair requires shoulder flexibility, by the way. You still need your shoulder joint to be at its functional flexibility level. You can't really compare self-stretching to cutting your own hair. Depending on your current flexibility, the expected long-term result is not going to be as productive compared to learning how to cut your own hair. If you want to know more about your range of motion, visit your nearest experienced stretch therapist for assessment. Or you have an option of just following my channel and hit the bell for your new video uploads every week. And maybe you might find the answer to your questions. And subscribe to videos like this by hitting the subscribe button below. Question of the day: what do you think about self-stretch personally compared to assisted stretch? Let me know on the comments section below. See you next time on the same channel. Fare thee well. Thank you for listening. This is Jace Lee. I am an active, isolated stretch practitioner.